Right, recording in progress. Let me move some things around on the computer screen and do this and do that. Hello. Hello everyone. Hello everyone who is here with us now. Shanila, that's you. And hello to those watching back. I know you guys are amazingly dedicated, and so although a few of you are unable to attend live at this moment, or some of you are attending live and it's midnight where you are, it's super excited to have any of you here for any amount of time at whatever point that is. What's super exciting about this 5-day VIP experience is that it gets to be whatever, whatever it needs to be for you throughout this week. All right. And so I'm going to share with you a bunch of concepts, like a bunch of different things that are going to really help you elevate from where you are now to where you want to get to. So for some of you, it might be crossing T's and dotting I's and ducks in a row and all that kind of amazing stuff. And for some of you, it might be the first time that you've heard some of these concepts, which is amazing because it means we get to build your business, from the ground up to make sure that we have a really healthy and successful business at every step of the journey. All right. I don't want to help you guys build runaway freight trains. And maybe some of you already have runaway freight trains, which have you feeling like you're just hustling all of the time. And what I want to say to you is, look, not all business models are made the same. And so I want you lit up, cashed up, and living your best, impact every single day. All righty, which is really exciting. So we are here for day one of 100K high-end queen. Apparently my mouth is not going to work. I want to get everything out for you. How to create high ticket offers so good that they sell themselves. All right. Fuck yes to that. So let's jump in. What I want to ask you just to begin with, all right, this was a not so recent success of mine, to be honest with you. It was probably about a year ago, making $100,000 months, having $8,000 days, being on holiday and $34,000 in cash landing in my account. These are things that I've been building towards and creating like the fuck yes life, that I want, which includes impact. It's all about the service of others. Absolutely. It's about living passion. It's about, all of those amazing things, right? Like you guys wouldn't be here if you weren't already, fuck yes, amazing next level humans. You simply just wouldn't be in my universe, I imagine. So integrity, we know that that is a part of everything that you already are, all right? And I want you making that impact, living your best life, doing the thing that you love and making income at the same time, because you are allowed to have both impact and income, all right? And so often, no, I won't say that. So what I want you to think about as we go through this journey, this 5 days, as I said, this 5 days gets to be whatever it needs to be for you. So please use and abuse us as best as you possibly can for whatever it is that you need at whatever stage of the journey you are on. All right. We are absolutely able to collapse time, whatever you think, was possible. Skye of 5 years ago could not have imagined $100,000 months. Rather that I could imagine it and I had no fucking idea about the how, and I'm a true believer in, in kind of playing the game at 3 levels. All right. So there's the strategic portion, there's the behavioral portion, and then there's the universal portion. That's what I truly believe. So the strategic portion of being able to have $100,000 months are things like what we're going to learn today. We're going to talk today about, money, and not just yay money mindset, yay abundance, but actually like, strategically, what the fuck do we need to do, to have a business and self that is able to hold that level of wealth. What does that mean? What do we need to do to achieve that? All right. Behaviorally, yes, we want to look at, what kind of patterns are showing up for you, you as an individual. Excuse my language, everyone. If you haven't noticed, I swear a lot. Where are you cock blocking yourself, right? Like, and getting, tripping over yourself or getting in the way of your own success. And then, as we said, the fulfillment, the passion, the love and the light, and all of the amazing things. Everything ties into being able to do this. Okay. And so you've got to play the game at all three levels, because no amount of strategy, I could give you all the strategy in the world, and I love strategy, you know, but no amount of strategy is going to out strategy a poor mindset or a repeat pattern or a sabotage that you're in and don't even realize. You know, no amount of strategy can fix that. So we have to do the you bit as well. All right. And then, you know, the universe, the life force, the frequency, you know, all those amazing bits and pieces too. So the outcomes for this week, all right, we're going to have, 3 amazing live masterclasses like this, where I'm just going to throw a whole bunch of information at you. And then we're going to help you take the pieces that are most meaningful to you right now. We call them intentional priorities. What are the top things that are going to move your business forward now? Sometimes it's a you piece, sometimes it's a strategic piece, sometimes it's, both. All righty. And so this week is very much so I can throw a whole bunch of information at you so that we can, roll it around in your head so that we can then give you the specific and individualized support that you need to take that information, to turn knowledge into wisdom. All right. And the way that we turn, just book smarts into wisdom is by being able to take fuck yes action off the back of it. All right. And that's what I want for you this week. I don't want this to be just another little, course or something like that. It's not a course, I don't want it to be that for you. I don't want it to be me just talking at you, although I will do that quite a lot as well. I want you to be able to take the information that you've learned, and create action steps off the back of it. And we're going to help you with that as well. All right. So hell yes. So the outcomes for the week is how to become cashed up and part of the top 1%. We're talking about that today. Also the multiple 6-figure financial freedom formula today, how to 10x the value of any program. That's Wednesday. Offers so good people feel silly saying no, and 100K expert secrets to selling high ticket. All right. Does that sound fucking good, or does that sound good? I think that sounds amazing, if I do say so myself. So let's talk about money, because there are a few big things, as I said, I want to get through today, and so, rapid fire, you guys, rapid fire. So this is called the cash flow quadrants. Let me know if you've ever heard of the cash flow quadrants before. Some people have, some people haven't. All right. Basically, what the cash flow quadrants tell us is that 5% of the world's wealth is in 95% of the population. All right. So 95% of the population, the majority of people, only own about 5% of the world's wealth. All right. Which means that 5% of the population, the top 5%, own 95% of the world's wealth. All right. And so if we have an understanding of, where the fuck is the cash, who's got the money, and I want more of it myself, if you've ever sat there and you're like, fuck, how do I make more money? I want more money. Having an understanding of these cash flow quadrants is so, so very important. All right. So 95% of the population, of the world's population, are employees or self-employed. All right. They're either an employee of somebody else's dreams, or they are self-employed. Now, there is a difference in being self-employed, because some of you might feel as if you're, self-employed right now, where you're, maybe you're winging it. Maybe you're really reactionary, and maybe you're wearing all the hats in your business. So yes, you've created a business, but maybe it's a bit more of a runaway freight train. Or just psychopath mode, enabled. All right. So the difference is that 5% of the world's population are either business owners, and I will make that distinction for you in a second, or investors. Okay. And any business owner, right, somebody who is like CEO hat on, or an investor, those people actually own 95% of the world's wealth. So what we want to do as business owners or business humans or entrepreneurs, we want to try and step away from, being self-employed, right, into CEO mindset. All right. We want to make sure that we have our operations hat on, our organizational hat on. We want to make sure that we've got scalability and growth. We want to make sure that we are, tracking our finances and things like that. Because let me tell you, money doesn't go or flow where you're not kind of putting energy into. So if you're somebody who's like ignoring, your financial situation, or you don't really look at it, or lots goes out, but you don't know what's coming in, and you have 100 different subscriptions that you probably don't need anymore, things like that, maybe the employees and maybe good for the self-employed, but as the CEO of your own business, we have to be and do and act differently to that. All right. That's how we make that transition from self-employed to a business owner. Okay. You need to think about it like more operational, more scalability and growth. Now, your dreams, it doesn't mean you have to have this gigantic company with 100 employees or something like that. That might not be on your vision board, and that is totally okay. Right. But it is still a step, a mindset, a transition where you are able to look at your, organization, increase the profit margin, maybe bring on a little bit of help here and there, maybe a VA, maybe another coach or something like that. You can have a small team, but be making big dollars. All right. And it doesn't all just rest on you. I want you, if it's not joy, fun, play, pleasure, passion, it's not for you. All right. You need to be in your genius hat, the ideas woman, right? Running the organization, and doing the pieces of the business that you love. Anything else, somebody else should be doing. All righty. So this is the big lie with the economy at the moment. It's a really important piece to be able to make money right now. Okay. So the big lie is that the economy's fucked. The economy, it's so bad, that nobody's got any money and we're in a recession, and all these different kinds of things, right? Like everyone is struggling, but it's not actually really the truth, because we've just learned that, that there's actually quite a lot of money out there, that hasn't changed. All right. So what happens in times of economic uncertainty is that the bottom of the market drops out. But the bottom of the market is always the bottom of the market. These are people who will have you, who's ever had this in their business, runaway freight train, right? Where you're on the hamster wheel, where your clients, like you've become a martyr to your client. You're sacrificing everything. You're speaking to people at 11 o'clock at night and 6 a.m. in the morning and every weekend and stuff like that. And you're on your phone, and, these clients expect an arm and a leg. They honestly want your firstborn child, and they want to pay pennies for it. All right. So the bottom of the market is always the bottom of the market. All right. It's always going to drop out. And these people generally don't, have money unless they, elevate and, come to a different area in the market. So the middle of the market, gets a little bit wobbly. All right. So, if there's economic uncertainty, the middle of the market gets a little bit, wobbly. So they're a bit sort of more, where do I want to put my money? They might kind of question things a little bit more. But the amazing thing is that the top of the market is business as usual. Business as usual. All right. These people are cashed up. These people, want to invest in themselves. They want to invest in their business, any of the big three areas, right? They invest in their business, they invest in their relationships, and what's the other one? I mean, they invest in themselves. I'm going to forget it. Wealth, health. They invest in their health, right? So they're the big areas: wealth, health, relationships. Okay. And so the top of the market, they're an easy sell, because they already value these things highly. Generally, they are actually even easier to support with whatever your coaching is, because again, they, obviously already, value these things highly. They prioritize the work. They, respect your boundaries. They don't expect an arm and a leg, and they are happy to pay the dollars, and they might float in, ask a few questions here and there, and away you go, right? These are the people that are going to have you lit up, working, your dream business every single day. I mean, it doesn't feel like work, right? And so the economy isn't fucked. You're just targeting the wrong part of it. Okay. So if you're finding that you're getting a lot of people coming to you and saying, oh, I don't know, I just don't know that I can afford that. I mean, Objection handling is, a whole other, 2-hour masterclass in its own right. We're not doing that today. Alrighty. However, it could be something in your messaging where you're actually coming in and there's something that you're saying where you're not calling in the action takers, where you're not calling in the people who highly prioritize, health, wealth, business, whatever, relationships, like that kind of stuff. Alrighty. So if we elevate, where it is that you're coming in at, then you will find your business is going to flourish and it's going to be so much more seamless, to build a, long, healthy, sustainable business and life. Alrighty. This is why, in my businesses, we teach high ticket offers. We don't teach what's called mass numbers models. And a mass number model is like, you're running a membership for $30 a week or $100 a month or something like that, and and people expect an arm and a leg, and if you want to make $10,000 a week, then you're going to be fucking hustling. You need like 100 people in there every single week having conversation, asking questions. Like, fuck mass numbers models. All right. I want you in grace. I want you in flow. I want you in ease. I want you, like impact and income. All right. This is why we teach high ticket. And right now, the marketplace and the level where you should come in at anyway is, is that top level. All right. Awesome. Yes. Fuck yes to high ticket. All right. So somebody just said, this is perfect for me. I think it's perfect for all of you. Just quietly. I'm a little bit biased. So excuse me for a second. I'm getting my writing implement out. All right, this is called your niche market. All right, some of you may have seen this before. Let's find a thing. There we go. Niche market. Oh, let's get some percentages right. Ooh, I pressed a button. Hang on. Wait. You're welcome, everybody. So let's say, as an example, your niche, my niche, your niche, whoever's niche, pick a niche. Let's say the niche, I'm just going to go really broad, just for the record, mums is not a niche, okay? It needs to be more niche than that, but I'm just going to use mums today as a bit of an example, all right? So we have 100 people, 100, we have 100 mums, all right? Here's 100 mums. Now, 60% of those mums, which actually equals 60 people, right? 60% of them are problem unaware. All right. 60% are what's called problem unaware. All right. They don't even know that they have a problem, So if you've got 100 mums that, could be your ideal clients, 60 of them are going to be like, I don't know, like, I don't really have a problem. It's probably fine. Like, who cares? I don't need to look after my relationships or my health or my business or my this or that. They're just like, no, not even paying attention. All righty. 20% of them, is what we call problem aware. They know that they have a problem. They're like, yeah, my relationship is going to hell. Or, they're saying, gosh, I need to make more money. Or maybe they're saying, like I haven't been looking after my health and it's really starting to affect me. They know that they have a problem in whatever your coaching modality is. All right. And whatever your niche is. So out of 100 mums, 60 of them don't even know they have a problem. 20 of them, know that they have a problem. All right. Now, 17 of them, or 17% of them, are in what we call information seeking mode. All right, information seeking mode. So these are people, not only do they know that they have a problem, but they're like actively out there looking, to solve that, that issue. All righty. And then at the bottom here, if we've got good maths, 3%. Oh, wow. Oh God, all sorts of things are happening on my screen. There we go. 3% of them, you get the idea. 3% of them are shut up and take my money. All right. So in the online space, when we're out there and we're communicating and we're, trying to get in contact with our niche market and we're doing our messaging and we're, putting our offers out there, it really is a numbers game. All right. Because if you've got 100 people who actually fit your ideal client, 60% of them technically aren't your ideal client because they're not even looking for a solution yet. 20% of them know they have a problem and they may drop down at any point in time. So you can sort of, go from here to here where they're like, okay, something's happened. I really need to start looking after this. And so they go and start seeking, a solution for their problem. That's where you come in, right? 3% of people are like already ready to go, shut up and take my money, like all those kinds of things. So what we need to do is make sure that we're targeting this part of the marketplace, but predominantly, these two areas, alone. All right. And there are still plenty of people. For every 100, that's still 20 people that are ready to buy, or trying to find an answer. And if you're showing up and you're putting yourself out there and you're, getting your ask on and selling every day, not necessarily always in a really salesy kind of a way, but if you're making offers, conversations equal conversions. All right. So if you're out there having conversations, serving the marketplace, doing all the things, then, there at any one time, there's probably, 3 to 20 people like who are ready to buy from you. All right. Now on day 2, which is Wednesday. So day 2 is like we're doing 1, 2, 3 in terms of masterclasses. On the second one, I will be giving you, ways in which to be able to attract your ideal clients and things like that, because I think that's a really important piece to it all, obviously. And so, we're going to go over that because it's like, cool, how do I find these 20 people? And at the end of the day, think about it. How many people do you really need? Like, how many really? Like 20 high-end clients, like, is a shit ton. If you're making, 2 to 4 sales a month, which is really fucking doable. I mean, there's your 100K months, right? So, we just we'll play with some figures in a minute, but that's just to give you a bit of an idea. All righty. So it's really important that you understand this as well. I'm just going to move some things around. We'll get it back out in a sec. Nothing happens in isolation in business. All right. And what I see, a lot of coaches out there doing that's maybe not the best is, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks, right? That there's no actual cohesion. Again, we're being a little bit reactionary where we're like, okay, what are we doing? What's going on this month? Like, what are we going to offer? What does that look like? Let me get something out there. Like, hopefully this lands, and we're just kind of haphazardly going about business on any, given day. And we don't want to do business like that. We want to make sure, like, the idea, write this down, is that clear is kind, unclear is unkind. All right. If you have clear, we do a lot of stuff on authority branding. And what that means is that you've got clear branding pillars, the things that you stand for as a business. They are clear. And then you have soul client avatar messaging. And that's really clear, tangible outcomes, for your clients, right? And then you put that together with a really amazing deliverable, right? Which is like your program, your offer, that kind of a thing. And those 3 pieces together create an amazing authority brand. All right. So for me in my business, like I've said today, we stand for high ticket offers. All right. I stand for, more wealth in the hands of women. I believe that the more wealth in the hands of women, the more good will happen in the world. We stand against mass number models and things like that. There's particular things that my brand is quintessentially about. When we talk to our soul clients, some of our tangible outcomes are things like create, launch, and fill your high-end programs, right? It is clear what it is that we do and what we support with through our business mentoring channels. All right. Like, it's that kind of a thing. You need to have it so clear. I'm just going to keep saying the word. We're going with it. That a child could explain it, all right, or understand it, okay? And nothing should happen in isolation. So let's have a bit of a look at that. Now we're doing this. So, I told you rapid fire this week, you guys. I want to get you so much information, which I know can be a little bit overwhelming, but it's because I know you're going to grab, like, one, you're all really intelligent human beings that have had a certain level of success, within your life and business anyway. So I don't want to treat you like idiots, because you're simply not, right? I want to treat you like the intelligent, amazing next level beings that you are. And so that's why we're doing rapid fire, because I actually trust that you're going to grab the bits that need to land for you. Does that make sense? So this is your Empire Suite. All right. Now, again, I could teach Empire Suite all day long. I stand for, for this kind of business model. They're called 7-figure business modeling. All right. I love business modeling. And again, it's one of my branding pillars is 7-figure business modeling and high ticket offers. All right. That's what I want to help people to build in their own existence, their lives. So it looks like this. Simple. Very, very simple. All right. So there are variations of this, but I want to give you the broad overview. So then again, we can kind of tweak for you individually and see, what are we missing? What do we have? What don't we have? What could we have? What's possible, and all the different directions. So I'm going to start at 1. Now, 1 is a program. You having some kind of signature program. Excuse the writing on this thing. It's very odd. So you want to have some kind of signature program. Now, generally a signature program is some kind of passion project. It's the thing that you really stand for and that you love and, you could teach with your eyes closed. It's the change that you want to make in the world. And it generally is some kind of A to B journey. All right. It's a little bit fixed. It's like, come and join me. We're going to go from, like pain point to pleasure. All right, A to B journey to solve a problem so that your ideal client can come in, like tweak something and get an amazing level of success and then potentially want to move on to something else with you. Now, a signature program might be something like, it could be an 8-week program, could be a 12-week program. There are variations. It could be a VIP membership and things like that. I don't want you to get bogged down in the details today because the idea is to have an understanding of 7-figure business modeling and how to have a really clear product suite, all right, versus, spaghetti at the wall style. Because let me tell you, 7-figure businesses and multi-6-figure businesses, aren't haphazard, they aren't, spaghetti at the wall, that kind of thing, all right? So we have our signature program. Then what we have down here is what we call MRR. And MRR is monthly reoccurring revenue. All right. And so MRR is also a program. Your MRR program could be something like a 6-month mentorship or a 1-year mentorship, something along those lines. Now, the reason that we want to have something like that is because it's basically called stackable wealth. All right. It's financial safety and security. If you're running a bunch of programs or haphazard memberships or people can kind of join, or even if you're doing a lot of one-on-one, if you're doing a bunch of one-on-one and people are kind of buying packs, you're either reselling to the same people all the time, or you're always trying to replenish and get new people through, or, and it's really, it ends up making your week really sporadic. So then we're not as, organized or not as, efficient and effective with what it is that we are doing. Who's ever had that? Like you're really split focused. I have days that sometimes are a little bit like that where I've had to jump between things. I try not to do that to myself ever. And I think about 2 weeks ago, there was a Thursday and it was like, jump, different things, chop and change, and again, it's unclear, it's inconsistent, it's, and our brains, our bodies, our, nervous systems don't love doing life and business like that. You probably all know exactly what I mean. So a monthly reoccurring revenue program means you can have somebody for a longer style journey. It's not as fixed as the signature programs. The signature program might be point A to point B, pain point to, pleasure land. That sounds nice, doesn't it? Whereas the MRR is more like, ongoing support, like mentorship, accountability, upgraded lessons, because you can't teach everything, in a signature program. The one that I always see, a lot of people love, there's what would it be? Inner child work or like trauma, And so depending on the front end, depending on the signature program, it's not amazing to go straight into let's unpack all of your childhood trauma and, and unpack those triggers and You might touch on some of those things. You might touch on fear. You might touch on, you definitely want to do some mindset work, but, and that's regardless of your niche and regardless of your, modality, right? However, like, you want there to be another level of the journey. You don't want to kitchen sink everyone, because it becomes too confusing. And also, if you overwhelm your clients, they actually get less success. So it's better to give them, like just what they need within a signature program to get from point A to point B, and then get your hands on them for a longer style journey, across a year, where you can then really unpack things, even more personally. And, there's a level of trust and vulnerability, across time and space, right? From the business side, obviously, it's good for you as well, because you're going to be able to stack wealth. Now, what does that really mean? It means that, and we're going to do some dollars in a second. But basically, a few years ago, I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I was a little bit unwell. It was probably about, I don't know, like 3 years ago or something like that. And I was unwell for a few months. And so I was a little bit, and I didn't do, I dropped client acquisition. Right. So we didn't bring on any new clients for about 2 or 3 months. All righty. And during that 2 or 3 months, right. Awesome fire. Yes. During that 2 or 3 months, like not bringing on any new clients, just doing a client promises. So showing up for the clients that I already had. I knew that I had minimum $20,000 landing in my bank account every single month for the next 15 months. That's stackable wealth. That's true financial safety and security, right? That I didn't have to bring in another new dollar into my business. And at minimum, I was going to be getting $20,000, like, getting paid into my, into my bank account, for at least the next 15 months. All right. That's what MRR is about. And the amazing thing with MRR is that now, what was $20,000 is now $50,000 and above, in monthly reoccurring revenue. Right. And then a couple of other little things we do here and there, 100K months. Right. Sorry you weren't feeling well. Bless you. Truth, amazing, stackable wealth. Yes, that's fine. Thank you. And that's what we want to do, because you never know, right? Like, you never know what's going to happen in your business and your life. And so you want to make sure, and again, we're really big on this, is, ensuring that you have a future-proofed business. All right. Because if you right now removed you from the equation and your entire business, would collapse, we need to have a conversation. All right. Because here's the thing about life. And I know I'm just going to preach to the choir here for a second, right? Captain Obvious. Here's the thing about life. Something's going to fucking happen. And I hope that it doesn't, it might be something good. Maybe you want to go on a holiday to fucking Europe for 6 weeks, right? And you want to know that your business is going to be healthy and well and sustainable, and that, that kind of a thing, and continue perhaps even to grow without you in it. Or, unfortunately, somebody may pass away, or, you might be unwell for a moment, or somebody that you love might be a little bit unwell for a moment, or something else takes your capacity, like you've got to move. Life is full of these kinds of things. And so we want to make sure that we are doing, 7-figure business modeling to ensure stackable wealth, financial safety and security across time and space, and future-proof your business. All righty. As I said, I could go on about this for forever. So the thing that happens at the top, let's have a look up here, is some kind of like lead gen. All right. This is all your lead generation strategies. Now, again, we're going to do a little bit on this, on organic lead generation strategies on our day 2. All righty. But organic lead generation strategies could be anything from, having a public facing community group. It could be running like an event strategy. It could be hand raisers and posts. It could be email nurturing. It could be, all of these different things we're going to go over, right? But it's super important, because what happens then is all you need to pay attention to is lead flow, people just coming in the top here. And then you're actually able to triage them, where you're like, okay, well, come and join my, signature program. Or sometimes even, there could be somebody that comes along who's a little bit more advanced, and you might say, well, look, I'm going to offer you straight down into, my MRR. All right. And you're able to triage that way. Now, what I will say about this as well is that one-on-one is separate to this a little bit. All right. Your one-on-one time is your greatest commodity within your business. So right now, if you are hustling for a whole lot of one-on-one, I swear it better be charged at the highest commodity, because, you only have a certain amount of hours in the day. So when I talk about signature program and MRR, these two things are in fact like group programs or group hybrid programs. And what that means is portions of one-on-one, but group program predominantly, because then you've got leverage time. And so with one-on-one, you can have 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 one-on-one clients maximum. I generally don't have any more than 3, like 3 one-on-one people that are my VIPs, getting like the best of me so that I can hybrid everyone else, so that I'm still lit up, energized, and they're a particular person who's like, yes, give me one-on-one. That's the thing that I need, let's do it. And it's like, that's fine. But, you need to pay that at the highest commodity. All righty. So it's really important that we understand that as well. So let's have a quick conversation within the same model for a second. I want to show you how to turn a $1,000 client into a $10,000 client, or a $5,000 client into a $25,000 or $29,000 client. Like, it just depends on where your pricing thermostat is at right now. But the idea, as we said, is that kind of stackable wealth. Alrighty, so this is what's called client lifetime value. Are you still with me? Have I got everyone? I know we're rapid fire, right? Lots of information. I break my own rules. I said I'm not going to overwhelm everyone. I may a little bit. However, we're then going to help you with all of that. Yes, still alive. Excellent. So this is the same model. All right, this is the same. Your product suite. Okay, so at the top here we might have something like $0. Yay! All right. $0, whatever your lead generation is, you might do some ads and ad spend, or you might have some paid ads. All right, that's fine. So up here, that's what we've got. Either $0 event or a community group or something like that. Now I'm going to keep the prices just simple, as I said, just so that the maths is easy and you can understand. So let's say you charge, and I think this is very cheap. This is like low end, high end. All right. Let's say you're charging $1,000 for your signature program, right? For your 8-week program. And then you get, 10 people who join it. All right. So that's $10,000. Okay. Awesome. That's pretty good for 8 weeks work. $10,000. Sure. Amazing. Now, let's say you run this program 4 times a year and you get 10 people in it each time. That's $40,000. All righty. Awesome. Not too bad. That's all right. 10K for 8 weeks or something like that. No worries. So what that means is that 40 people total, 40 packs, have in fact joined your program throughout the entire year. Now, what we know to be true about conversion rates is that for every 10 people we talk to, about 4 people are actually, going to join up with us. All right. Like our conversion rate, and that's a very modest conversion rate. For every 10 people, who join your signature program up here, for every 10, right, 4 people are going to join down here. All right. So across the entire year, that equals 16 people are going to join down here. Now, if you're charging $10,000, all right, per person for a 1-year journey with you, that is $160,000. All right, which means that this equals a $200,000 year. All right, does that make sense? So this is client lifetime value. All right, how do you turn a $1,000 client into a $10,000 client? All right, and you can see the stackable wealth, right? Like, instead of it just being $40,000 up here, you're now making $160,000, and there's, 200K. All right, now imagine if this was $5,000. All right, that is not $5,000. There's a $5,000. So imagine if you ran that for $5,000, 10 people each time, that's $50,000. All right, $50,000. I'm really not doing well. There we go. That's a $50,000. All right, so if you charged $5,000 for this program instead of $1,000, right? You charge $5,000, you still got the same 10 people. Okay. $50,000 for 8 weeks. That's pretty good. That's going to equal, what is that going to equal? That's 200K just there alone, right? Now, let's say down here, what do you want to charge? $20,000? $20,000? $15,000, $25,000, $30,000. I don't mind what it is. Let me do the maths on that because I'm not going to be able to. 16 times 20,000 equals 320,000. All right, so that's 320K. All right, plus the 200,000. Now we've just had a 500. Here we go. $500,000 year. All right. And as we start to push towards the millions, the good old 7-figure year, it can work a little bit differently. Either we're getting more people in up here, our dollar figure down here is different. You could be charging, I think it's like 40 people paying about $2,500 monthly is $1 million year. All right. So how much money do you want to make? Right? It's a numbers game, and having this very simple, like that's not complicated, is it? I mean, the maths might be a little bit complicated and I'm scribbling all over the place, but in terms of a product suite, in terms of a way to run your business, it's very clear, isn't it? You pay attention to the lead generation, we get people in the top, we then triage them and sort of say, okay, you can jump in the signature program or, jump into the MRR. We then, resell to the people who did our signature program. We put them into the MRR at X number of dollars, and over that year, exactly how much do you want to make? All righty. Pretty cool, isn't it? This is why I love business modeling, and just making it really make sense so that you get the level of success and the dollars, the income. And as I said, there's some exceptions to the rule, but you just kind of tweak it and we end up in a really amazing place. Shut up. Is that it? Is that it for today? I can't even believe it. I thought there was way more. So look, that's today. That's a lot, isn't it? Anyway, having an understanding of those money models, knowing that we want to go from our employee mindset, right, to a CEO mindset. And how we do that is we start to look more organizationally, more operationally. We think about our business. Love this money model. Exactly. We think about our empire suite, to make sure that we're, filtering people through, that clear is kind and unclear is unkind. And then how do we then stack wealth so that, we can turn $1,000 client into a $10,000 one, or a $5,000 client into a, $25,000 one or something like that. All right. It's so important that we pay attention to these things, that we have an understanding of, putting our energy in the right areas that are then going to, create the level of wealth that you are after. And it does not have to be complicated. And to be honest with you, the more complicated, the less likely you are to succeed, whereas if we can keep it, simple and clear, this is who we are, this is what we do, and this is what we don't do. All right. And then, regardless of your modality, regardless of the niche, we're able to filter people through that way, and then you can pay attention to just the really simple, lead generation, event strategies, marketing and that kind of stuff, because the programs, will be running themselves at that point. All right. I mean, not entirely running themselves. You'll be there. You might have another coach. You could have a VA, whatever it is. All right. But we want to build you really healthy, sustainable businesses based around stackable, sustainable financial safety and security. All righty. Any questions or comments? Well, we've got you here. What was your biggest takeaway, Shanila? Seeing as you're the only one who's here, and I know you guys are going to be watching this back. So make sure you share in our community group your biggest takeaway from today. I can't believe that just finished. I felt like we would go, I felt like there was at least another 3 slides. The empire model, yes, an MRR. And you can see that the difference, if we're just running back-to-back 8-week programs or whatever, a 12-week program or whatever it is, it's not stackable wealth. And you're just going to be trying to hustle and get people in there. Whereas if we're able to drop people down into some kind of, a monthly recurring revenue, and give them that long-term support, right? Then, in that way, everyone gets to succeed. You, the business, and the tribe. All right. My business needs to be able to run without me 100%. That's a true business. Yeah. And we might look at that on day 3. The difference in like a healthy business and an unhealthy one. All right. And it's often the difference in like, let's say a 6-figure business, we can wing our way to $100,000 a year, but once you start pushing for, multi 6-figure years, or, like even a 6-figure like months, right? There has to be sort of some systems and strategies and support and, all those different kinds of things, right? We can't wing it at that point. So look, that's it for me. I can't believe we did it in under an hour. That is amazing. I normally don't do under 2 hours. I'm sending you all so much love. Today really is informational, right? The next few days, as we said, you're going to start, getting a bit of a game plan on like how we're going to start implementing this stuff. Today's really about the thinking. So you can go, fuck, I need to have a business model built for success, and I need to understand how money flows out there in the economy and who I should be targeting, that's going to help me build a beautiful, long-term sustainable business. All right. As we move on to the next day, our next session together, you and me, in that one, we're going to really start putting the pieces together on what are some of the actionable things you then need to do. All right. So this is what we need to know and understand. Then we're going to do the do stuff. All right. I love a bit of how, and so we're going to have that conversation too. All right. Sending you so much love. I'm so glad to have you here. If you have any questions, as I said, please show up in the community group. The more active and involved you are, the more that we can tailor this beautiful VIP experience. Like, you have access to me and my entire team. Please use and abuse our time together. Ask anything specifically that you need. I too am sending you so much love, and I hope you all have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Bye.